It's 3 a.m. You weren't even thinking about anything in particular, and then, out of nowhere, your brain pulls up a memory from 11 years ago. The thing you said in that meeting, the way your voice cracked, the joke that didn't land, the time you waved at someone who wasn't waving at you, and suddenly you are wide awake, heart rate up, face hot, reliving a moment that nobody else on Earth remembers, except you, apparently in perfect high definition at 3 in the morning for absolutely no reason. Why does this happen? And more importantly, why does it happen now, of all times, when you're trying to sleep? Here's what most people don't realize. This isn't your brain malfunctioning. This is your brain doing something incredibly specific, and understanding what it's actually doing changes everything about how it feels. Let's start with the timing. Why 3 a.m. specifically? During the day, your prefrontal cortex, the part of your brain responsible for rational thinking, perspective, and emotional regulation, is active and online. It's busy, it's filtering things, it's keeping you focused on the present. But late at night, especially during certain sleep cycles, the prefrontal cortex quiets down. And when it does, the amygdala, the part of your brain responsible for emotional intensity and threat detection, gets significantly louder. So that embarrassing memory isn't new. It's been sitting there the whole time. What's changed is that the part of your brain that normally says, "That was 11 years ago, nobody cares, go back to sleep," has gone quiet. And the part that says, "This is urgent, this matters, feel this now," has the floor completely to itself. But here's where it gets interesting. Why this memory? Out of literally thousands of moments in your life, why does your brain keep returning to the time you tripped in front of your crush, or sent that text to the wrong person, or laughed at completely the wrong moment in a silent room? Psychologists call this phenomenon related to something known as the Zeigarnik effect. The brain's tendency to remember unfinished or unresolved experiences far more vividly than resolved ones. An embarrassing moment, by its nature, often goes unresolved. You didn't get to explain. You didn't get to redo it. You didn't get closure. So your brain files it not as done, but as pending. And pending things get replayed, repeatedly, often at the worst possible time. And here's the part that's genuinely fascinating. Research shows that the emotional intensity of these memories doesn't fade the way factual memories do. You might not remember what you had for lunch 3 days ago, but you can remember, in vivid sensory detail, the exact words you said in a conversation from 2014 that went slightly wrong. That's because emotionally charged memories, especially ones tied to social standing, are encoded differently. The amygdala tags them as important, not because they're dangerous in any real sense, but because to your brain, social embarrassment once meant something close to survival. Here's why. For most of human history, your social standing within your group wasn't just about feelings. It was about resources, protection, belonging. Being seen as foolish, weak, or socially incompetent could genuinely affect your survival. So your brain developed a system that treats social missteps with the same intensity as physical danger. It wants you to remember exactly what went wrong, so you never do it again. The problem is that system hasn't updated. It still treats the memory of spilling coffee on yourself in 2016 with the same urgency as if you were still in danger from it. Your brain isn't trying to torture you. It's trying to protect you using a threat detection system that's about 10,000 years out of date. Now here's something that might surprise you. Research on rumination, the technical term for this repetitive replaying, shows that almost everyone does this. A study published in the Journal of Behavior Therapy and Experimental Psychiatry found that the vast majority of people report regularly recalling embarrassing memories from years, even decades, in the past, often triggered by nothing at all. You are not unusually sensitive. You are not uniquely cringe. You are running completely standard human software. Let's be honest about something, though. For some people, this goes beyond the occasional 3 a.m. cringe spiral. If these memories come with intense shame, if they're attached to a broader pattern of feeling fundamentally flawed or unworthy, that's worth paying attention to, because chronic shame-based rumination is linked to anxiety and depression, and it's different from the universal occasional experience most people have. But for most people, most of the time, this is simply what an overactive, well-meaning, slightly outdated threat detection system sounds like at 3 a.m. when nothing else is competing for its attention. So here's what's actually fascinating about this whole thing. The person in that memory, the version of you who said the awkward thing, who tripped, who sent the wrong text, they didn't know they'd be remembered for this. To them, it was just a moment. It passed. Everyone in that room moved on within seconds, possibly within the same minute. The only person who held on to it, replaying it in full detail for years, was you. Which means the memory isn't really about what happened. It's about what your brain decided that moment meant about you. And that meaning was assigned by a part of your brain that doesn't have access to context, time, or perspective. It just has the moment, on a loop, at full volume. The next time it happens, and it will happen again, because that's just how brains work, try this. Instead of fighting it or spiraling into it, just notice what's actually occurring. Your prefrontal cortex is offline. Your amygdala is loud. An old unresolved file got pulled up because nothing else was happening. That's it. That's the whole mechanism. It's not a verdict on who you are. It's not evidence of anything. It's just an old alarm going off in an empty house because the house is quiet enough for you to finally hear it. You can let it play, and then you can go back to sleep. If this finally explained something that's been happening to you for years, subscribe to Brain Decoded. And next time it's 3 a.m. and your brain decides to replay something from 2009, you'll know exactly what's happening and why it really doesn't mean what it feels like it means.